I was in a toxic relationship at that time, and I didn't understand in that moment, you know, there's like how like really toxic it was, because obviously like, you know, I'm in love and I'm in the moment, but you know, like taking a step back and it's really like viewing it from just like above, I see like there's so many learning experiences, and I'm so grateful that I had like that time, and you know, so grateful that I had the ability to like learn from that.
This bartender
right, don't tell
does
me.
it in front of people.
No way.
And laughs at the people's faces because they don't have alcohol. So he literally sniffs it in front of them and starts laughing at the people in line. I think it hurt him because she said that like, I would love to get to know you outside of the festival. So I feel like she kind of put that in his head, and he was like so excited.
Yeah.
And then when he finally confronted her, she was like, no.
Thank you once again for tuning in with us. My name is Nand. I'm one of the hosts of the I'm Peaking podcast.
I am Brin. I am also a host of the I'm Peaking podcast.
I'm Mickie.
And I'm Devin. Hello.
And
they're also hosts.
Well, we're also hosts, if you couldn't tell.
Welcome back to the I'm Peaking podcast. Question of the day is, what's the craziest environment or weather condition you've raved in?
Ooh, I think a lot of people know the answer to this one. For me, one of them, Forbidden Kingdom, the heat was heat stroke level.
Wasn't it raining too?
And then the next day it was literally downpour so bad that like,
if anyone ever says to me that countdown is wet, they don't know shit.
Wait, I was about to say
Okay,
countdown.
but that was pretty
Countdown
bad, though.
Countdown sucked.
That
balls.
was pretty bad.
There was also shit in the water. I saw porta potties on the floor, and that means like, and the water was like up to my knees. So we were walking in shit water.
I understand, but that does not compare still. Like, it was wet and it was cold for countdown. I do agree. It was a miserable experience.
That's what I was going to say. It
miserable,
was cold,
miserable
cold,
experience.
wet.
However, the amount of rain that came down in that moment at Forbidden Kingdom is uncomparable. Like, yeah, it was wet, it was cold, it was raining, but you could still walk to your sets, and it sucked at countdown. At Forbidden Kingdom, they shut it down. They fully shut it down, and we were hidden and hiding underneath tents, hiding inside. Like it was.
Jose ran out of the CLUTCHLOOP tent with the flag, like in the middle of the.
So you guys were just like under a tent, like just standing there waiting for the rain.
Yeah, everyone was. There was like 50 people under the CLUTCHLOOP tent.
I can literally imagine you guys all just like huddled together like sardines.
That's literally what it was.
For how long?
It was warm though. I'll give you that.
Yeah, it was like 30 minutes maybe.
It was a flash rain. Apparently, that's a very common. I don't know Florida. I'm not from Florida, but flash rains and flash floods are a thing.
Is that when you made that video?
Yeah.
You took advantage of the moment. Seize
really
the moment.
did.
Let's go.
I really did.
I remember. He was like, Devin, hold my phone. And then he just sprinted out there.
So
See, that's a great attitude. Like, it's raining, the music
just
stops.
make the most out of
and
it.
then you just make the most out of it.
Oh, it's so much fun. Fun fact, I recently went to Bonnaroo, and it also rained there. Same energy.
Fuck.
I do feel bad for anybody who went to Electric Forest, by the way, because they lost 2 days.
Yeah. Isn't Electric Forest like 4 days or something?
Yeah.
I saw that.
Damn, half the festival. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Did they get their money back?
Don't know yet.
People are asking for it, but at the same time, it's like you can't really control weather.
Yeah.
So I don't know how they're going to like settle that, but
It's gonna be hard, you know.
Yeah, that just sucks.
Yeah, it just sucks. Like, kind of just an L. You just take it and move on.
yeah.
Kind of, sort of, yeah.
I think for me, that always like I always think about is EDC 2019. Yeah, where like we weren't prepared, okay? Because usually EDC used to be in June. I think this was like the first year it was in May or something.
Yeah.
So none of us were prepared for the desert wind. And if you guys don't know about desert wind, it gets cold.
It blows you away.
It's cold and it's very strong. But yeah, I was not prepared. I literally went, day one was fine. Like it was like a nice temperature, but then as it got to day two, bro, I was freezing my ass off. It was not fun. And then I think it was to the point where Kinetic Field had to shut down, and I felt bad because Cascade.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, because Cascade was gonna play, but they had to cancel a set and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, that sucked. And then day three, I literally just went in sweats and like a sweater
Comfy
because
girl.
I was like, bro, I'm freezing. I don't care anymore.
You're there for the music.
Yeah.
You dressed up day one, day two.
Yeah.
And that is why I wore joggers.
Well, like, you're a
Joggers.
guy.
No. Joggers underneath cargo
shorts.
Oh.
Wait.
Straight to jail.
Yeah, that was
Why didn't you put it over?
I needed access to the pockets.
you could have been anti-theft.
I kind of want to see a picture. I don't remember.
Oh,
that.
there's pictures. We've done clips. We've literally had clips on this.
Yeah.
I don't do that anymore. Now I'll just wear joggers and leggings if I
and hope for the best.
You know what's interesting is I've noticed in the last couple EDCs there hasn't been winds like that anymore. What happened?
No, you're right.
I don't know, but this past EDC, perfect.
Oh, the weather was phenomenal.
Perfect.
Maybe global warming is actually helping us at Rave.
Slay.
I don't know because I don't know if that would affect the
That's
wind.
a big slay.
I don't know if that would affect the wind though.
You see,
what a take.
I don't know the science on that, but I know it affects the actual heat. So maybe like the higher the heat, I don't fucking know. I'm not a scientist.
Take whatever we say with a grain of salt,
Yeah.
please.
I don't study the weather. I'm not a weather girl.
I am saying, I think though that I would really like to experience a snow festival.
Oh,
I'm really upset that I never got
Does
to
Snow Globe
experience.
still
Same.
exist?
No, it's no.
Wait, does
Globe
it
got
exist anymore?
discontinued.
Because of it was like harsh conditions.
No idea.
Yeah,
no idea. I just
know
remember
why.
2016 I had the opportunity to go and I didn't take it because I was
Also had the opportunity to go.
Same.
Or so I'm sorry, not 2016, 2015 because it was the winter of my graduating year. So that would have been 2015 and like the new year.
Wait, the winter of your graduating year?
Mm-hmm. So 2015.
Oh, because 2016 is when you graduated.
Yes. So exactly.
I think the year that I was thinking of going is the year that they discontinued it or they canceled it. And I was like, damn, like I was actually
I
so
wanted to look
excited.
like a little like Eskimo.
Yeah.
Yeah, all my frat bros would rent out a cabin and they
That
would
sounds
all
so
go.
fun.
Sounds so fun.
And dude, I really wish I would have experienced it. And they had like the lineups were insane.
Oh
for
Yeah.
the Snow Globe,
their
too.
lineups were sick.
Dude,
Yeah.
I remember the one year they had like Skrillex, Lewis the Child, like
Oh,
all
and
those people.
Skrillex at the time was like, he still is the
Yeah, he
man,
was
but,
doing, like, the old
he was doing
Skrillex.
all the shit.
But
he
not
was-
only
Yeah.
that, it was like Jack U. It
Yeah.
was what else
Yeah.
was
Fuck,
there?
don't even get me started about how much I miss
Yeah.
Jack U, bro.
Dude.
Yeah, well, also he was bringing up a lot of people. You know, he brought up a lot of people with him, so
Yeah.
like he was able to like bring eyes onto so many other artists at the time.
I mean, he's doing it now with like Fred again or like Fortet. I mean, Fortet's been around for a while, but like he helped
Yeah.
with Fred again. So
Well, what are some other festivals that have crazy conditions maybe that we haven't been to? But weren't we talking about some one in the jungle or something?
Burning,
like that?
not Burning Man, but Burning Man's one
Burning
of them.
Man's one of them.
Yeah, there
Wait,
was like
what's the jungle? What?
Psytrance. What was it? Psytrance Goa. Psytrance Goa
It's in the
raves
jungle?
or something.
It's in the jungle.
Yeah, it's like in the jungles of India or
Whoa.
something.
Wait.
Oh, I don't know
way.
anything about
I
that.
don't know
festival.
anything about that.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that's just what I.
Wait, can we
that's
look it
just
up
what I
right now?
saw.
Can we
yeah,
see
look
what
it up.
What is it called?
Psytrance Goa.
Psytrance.
Psytrance Goa raves.
Psytrance Goa.
Man's gonna bring it
Rave
up,
in
and
the
he doesn't even
jungle?
do the research in advance.
That's just what I saw.
Because now I'm curious. Psytrance rave in a forest, big night out. Is that? I'm actually not.
It's in India.
Oh, okay. Trance parties in Goa, India, January. I'm going back. I will arrive 28th, celebrate New Year's. Blah 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 blah. I mean, I guess it exists.
Interesting.
Well, I mean, E-Forest does take place in a jungle, so.
Is it
that's
a jungle?
It's
or
not a jungle.
It's a
Or a
forest.
forest.
It's a forest.
It's two very
What's the
different.
jungle
difference?
on a-
Wait, what?
Actually, I
what
actually
is
know
the
this.
difference?
Pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. Jungle is in tropical areas.
Yes.
It's so it rains.
Yes, and then obviously the type of trees different.
Makes sense.
I'm pretty sure forest is like you get more like tall ass fucking pine trees and shit like that. That's what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
imagining right now. And then jungle is more tropical.
Got it.
tropical
Okay, that makes
heat.
Just
sense.
think about like the Amazonian for jungle.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
I think
That
about
makes
like more
sense.
exotic animals in the tropical
Yeah.
jungles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, like the
Like-
setting. Like,
Mhm.
I feel like in a forest, it's more of just like, it's literally just trees.
I just
and
think
like
of forest
dirt.
dry, jungle wet.
Yeah. It's a good way to
Actually,
look at it.
I reverse that. I imagine a forest as wet and misty, cold, foggy, whereas
Jungle's like humid, sticky.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
Mosquitoes.
But
Lots of mosquitoes.
another thing is Fyre Festival 2.0 is coming back.
Ooh.
Fuck.
Where do I sign up?
You know what? I want to go for the memes.
I kind of just want to go for shits and giggles.
I'm for the content.
Just for the content.
Where is it at this time? Is
I
it in
don't-
the same
I
spot?
don't know.
Where was it last time?
Well,
It's on an island, that's all I
Nowhere.
know.
No, but like,
Or-
Where's it supposed
obviously
to
there's a destination. It's
Yeah.
like
yeah.
a country or
I
continent
think
or something.
my thing with Fyre Festival and like any festivals, it's just I don't know how comfortable I am about going to an island. You know what I mean?
So
Yeah.
Fyre Festival 2.0 is happening at the end of 2024 in the Caribbean,
Caribbean.
Oh.
All right, that sounds kind of
which
cool.
could be interesting.
That
Okay.
sounds
you
kinda
know.
cool.
Unless they're gonna like bring you all the way over there and take your money again and like not show up
and
but,
give
like,
you shitty sandwiches.
and you're in the tents, the little like
tents.
You know what makes me wonder? Because I didn't watch the whole interview, but like the guy, the founder of it, he actually did an interview and was talking about like, yeah, no, it was gonna fail from the start, but I needed the money.
What the fuck? Why would you say that? Because
I mean, he was already in prison. It doesn't matter.
How long was he in prison for?
No idea.
You know?
No idea. I mean, fact check me, please. But like, to my understanding, it was one of those like actually tried to do something, and when it wasn't gonna work, he was like, all right, well,
but
I'm
why
already
still
fucked.
go with it? Just cancel it at
money.
that point. Because then you wouldn't have gone to jail. Like, I'm sorry. Pretty crazy.
Maybe he wanted to go. Maybe.
It makes you. It does make you wonder how they're gonna go about Fyre Festival too, though, because it's just like
I don't know.
It has its own marketing at this point.
But like, yes, and at the same time, I know people, even though people know what happened to the first one, they're gonna go to the second one because they're just curious.
I'm curious.
Yeah.
I'm for damn sure curious.
Yeah.
Guess we'll see.
Slay!
Guess we'll see.
Yeah.
But speaking of Fyre Festival, there was okay, this is what people said. Okay, this is not like anything that has to do with me, or this is, I done my research. So Kygo did his own festival called Palm Tree Festival in the Hamptons this past weekend, and people are calling it Fyre Festival 2.0.
Whoa. Was it like a weekend festival?
Yes.
Or okay, so like what happened?
No.
So
Was it just this one, or like every single one so far?
Because he's had many. I saw like he had one last year in like in California, and then Ellie Goulding was on the lineup.
yeah,
So it
I
seemed
also
pretty
heard
legit.
that he's done one in Hawaii. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah. So this girl on TikTok, she did like a 7-minute story of like, and I was just like,
how do you have that much time? Sorry.
she was just pissed. But yeah, so basically when they got to the throughout the whole thing, they never told the festival goers where it's going to be. So like they search up the address and everything. They checked emails, they checked the social media, nothing.
Was it purposely?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. And so they looked everywhere. And eventually they figured it out at some point, and then they figured out it was at like some university. But then when they got there, they didn't see a stage. And they're like, yo, then they realized that's not the location. Then from a distance, she saw like school buses and like 1,000 people going like zigzag lines waiting to get into the school bus. And everyone was like screaming and freaking out because they still didn't know where it was. So finally, she got to the school bus. It took her like an hour and a half to finally get to the destination. When she got there still was no stage in sight. But yeah, so when they finally pulled up to the next location, they had to walk another half a mile to finally get to it.
Cardio.
Yeah, but this poor girl, like, she missed 2 out of 4 of the sets. And if like everything went well, she would have saw the whole thing.
So then let me ask, the address wasn't purposely given? It was supposed to be a secret location? Or
I don't
did
know.
she just not have like
They like, it just never.
the emails? Did she put a wrong email maybe? Or was like was it the actual festival itself that did that?
I don't know.
This just sounds very disorganized.
Oh
Yeah.
wait, there's more. It hasn't even gone to the good part yet. Okay, so they paid over $300 for these tickets because everything was supposed to be all inclusive, like the alcohol, everything. You could get like any alcohol you want. It was all inclusive.
That doesn't sound right. For $300,
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you.
but they ran out of alcohol at like 4 p.m.
That's really
Yes,
bad.
you see, that's bad.
That's really
Yeah.
bad.
And
For
so yeah.
But like, I'm just so confused because like Kygo's huge, you know, like he's
I
a
know.
resident in Las Vegas and he's been doing this for like over a year. And the last one, the flyer that I looked at had an
So
address.
is it Kygo's
I was about to say,
fault, or
I
is
don't-
it like the organization?
No, I mean, it's the
Yeah.
organization.
Of course,
Yeah,
I'm just
it's not
it's-
Kygo's fault.
Oh
but-
wait, there's more.
I mean, let me quick thought. I mean, because I've labels and event planners and all that stuff. It could be Palm Tree's fault, and it could be whoever they
or
hired.
the venue and everything.
Or
yeah.
whoever they hired to be their event coordinator. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, it's
a lot of times those venues do like get in the way of, or not get in the way, but like they are the source of a lot of the problems that arise during
Yeah.
especially the Hamptons. I'm
the
sure they're like,
events.
who are these ravers?
Yeah.
We don't want these ravers here.
And so
Well,
like
yeah, I mean, not even on that level. Just like they aren't anticipating like the sheer amount of volume of people that are going to be there, or the amount of people that are going to be ordering drinks. Like,
which honestly kind of reminds me of and we could talk about it
Yeah.
later, but Electric Zoo.
Yeah.
Similar mindset, new venue space, all that.
Yeah. So to continue on with her version or perspective of everything, she finally found a bartender where she heard that like if you pay this bartender $20, they would give you alcohol. And she was like, are you fucking for real? So she goes to the bartender, gives the lady $20, and the lady was like, oh, here, how many do you want?
Suddenly they have alcohol. Oh my God.
Yeah. And she was like, I guess. And then speaking of weather, it was pouring rain. And when they were underneath the tents weren't set up where like the rain would like catch everything. It like fell through, so everyone's like soaking wet.
Ugh.
Oh, are there any videos of this happening?
She has like not videos, but she in her like TikTok video, she had like screenshots of like the people in the line for the school bus, how everything was like. I'll send it over so we have like everything.
Okay.
And then she goes to another tent for alcohol. She's like waiting in line. She's like the 5th person in line. And the other bartender's like, oh, we ran out again. And so they're like, yo, what the fuck? So they just still wait around because they're like, oh, maybe they'll just restock, whatever. So they're just waiting. And then this random guy pushes through everyone and gives the bartender some drugs. Some little sniffies. And the bartender takes it, gives the guy 10 like different types of alcohol.
What?
So it was like an exchange.
What is this bartering system?
I don't know.
Did you say 10 alcohols?
Like 10 like here beers or
Alcohol
whatever.
10 drinks?
Yeah.
10 alcoholic beverages?
Yes. So literally this random guy goes to a bartender, was like, hey, you want this? Give me alcohol. So they literally exchange.
So wild.
And this bartender, this isn't my story.
Don't
okay?
tell me he did
This
it
bartender
right there. Don't tell
does
me.
it in front of people.
No
way.
And laughs at the people's faces because they don't have alcohol. So he literally sniffs it in front of them and starts laughing at the people in line.
Wait, how credible is this story?
Yeah, this is all according
She
to the
saw
girl.
it. She saw it.
But like, did anyone else like see it?
I don't know. This isn't my story. This is what she said, okay?
Okay,
If-
yeah.
If this is all true, I'm going to have to chalk this up to, it sounds like it's the venue. It sounds like the people in the Hamptons or whatever, because like that just makes me think of a whole bunch of other festivals where like it's the team that got hired on that did poorly, you know, like I'm not gonna say Kygo, this is your fault.
No.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's Palm Tree's fault either.
No, I think it's like, because when people hire like security and like bartenders, it's always by a third party.
Oh, always,
Yeah,
absolutely.
so whatever, probably.
Or in-house to that venue, but somehow I doubt an in-house bartender would act that way.
Yeah, so
I mean, that's how
that
they do it in the
happened.
Hamptons.
Yeah.
I don't know.
God, I don't want to be a part of the Hamptons.
And then, so obviously the festival still goes on, blah, blah, blah. And then it ends and everybody has to go back to the school bus. And then people were just pissed off at that point. Everyone was drunk because they just drank everything that they could get their hands on at that point.
Oh God! So then you have angry drunks.
Yeah,
And was there no music?
Oh, so they still got alcohol. That's nice.
How about the music? How about the stages?
It won't. I mean, she saw Kygo and Swedish House Mafia,
Sick.
at least. But when the festival ended, everyone was just pissed off, drunk, and they were like banging on the school bus windows, just trying to get out of there. And then the security and police officers were like shoving people to like stop pushing. And then it just ended up in like a zombie apocalypse, and that's just where her story ended.
Wow.
So they were pissed off because they didn't get enough alcohol.
They were just pissed off in general because that whole thing was like a shit show.
But
apparently.
it's because they couldn't find the venue and they
Couldn't find the
Couldn't
venue.
get alcohol.
Couldn't
Ran out
get
of
alcohol.
Okay.
It was just like probably like a really poor
And then it
experience.
And then
Didn't you say something before about there not being any ice also?
Oh yeah, there was like they ran out of ice.
Dude, that's a wild one. I'm a former bartender. To hear that is wild to me. Like alcohol runs out. That happens. But like ice?
Uber Eats it.
You're not supposed to run out of ice.
Instacart. Hello.
But yeah, so that was this person's experience. Do you want me to credit her? Okay, so it was this girl on TikTok. Her username is @CarrionYC, and this was just basically her whole
If you want to
story.
go look up the video for yourself, feel free
it's
to.
mind you, it's a 7-minute, but it's like the way she tells it is so interesting.
It's
Okay.
it's funny to me because you keep saying 7 minutes like it's a long amount of time. I'm like,
No, for TikTok, 7 minutes is long.
yeah,
How
you're
many-
not
how many
wrong,
views
but
did
like
it
me
get?
personally, 7 minutes is not a wild amount of time. So it's just funny.
You know how many views that video got?
Let me see.
Oh, Sage probably made a lot of money off of that one.
doesn't mean she's part of the creator
No.
program automatically.
Well, you never know. You never fucking know.
She might have just made the video.
It has 74K.
Damn.
So yeah, and you see it. It says spilling the tea on Kygo's epic fail of a music festival in the Hamptons.
What do the comments say? What do the comments agree?
Some people are saying, I bet bartenders were only making tip only. That's probably why, and they were also getting screwed over by the event.
Yeah, that would explain why they just.
Someone even said this was 100% our experience too.
Okay.
So another person is kind of backing her up. Someone said, we got past the buses and had to walk 3 miles before we can get an Uber. It was horrible.
That's never fun.
Someone said they paid $30 for an acai bowl.
That's so common though, like expensive food and also not being able to catch an Uber. That sounds like every festival.
Ooh, okay, so another
but $30 for an acai bowl is like $30 for something with like
that's like Coachella.
Yeah.
Try $50 for a fish bowl.
Yeah, exactly. A fish bowl is $50. Like it's just festivals are expensive. Period.
Yeah,
you're gonna be spending money.
Awful.
Go to a festival, you're spending money. Like,
it is a crime.
Yeah.
Someone else said, I need a freaking refund. LOL. Ran out of alcohol at 7 p.m. So maybe it was just like the bar tent she was at that ran out of 4, but they ran out of alcohol at 7 p.m. Transportation was a nightmare, and it was so ridiculously unorganized. So basically.
Yeah, it just sounds like a giant shit show.
Yeah.
Very disorganized.
So we're not blaming Kygo. Kygo's still a fucking legend.
He's a legend. I love Kygo.
It's just like it just so happened that everything was unorganized.
Yeah.
That being said,
all of
that's
it's true. If all of it's true.
That's a very, very intense festival to attend.
Yeah, it is. It is unfortunate that it does happen to be under Kygo's name, you know, because like you never want to hear as an artist, you never want to hear, especially if you're throwing an event or yourself.
It's like your name and it's your festival. Of course you want it to go well, like
and so and then naturally speaking, like everyone they're gonna associate that with Kygo's name now. You know, so
I can also understand how like so many people got upset about it too, because like, you know, you go to something like that, if you add all the factors, feelings, emotions, and like things go wrong all the time, but to have all of it happen, oh god, I'd be so mad too.
I've been like looking if there's been like a statement or like anything talking about it.
Was it this last weekend?
Yes, this was just this past weekend, and there hasn't been.
They're probably not going to bring it up for a while, dude. Izu took 9 months to respond.
Yeah, so I've been on the lookout to see if like, you know, it's been talked about, but it hasn't.
It was this past weekend, so the weekend of the 24th.
Yes,
24th.
just literally like a few days ago.
June 24th. Yeah.
But yeah, there hasn't been a statement. I've been like stalking Kygo's page. I've been stalking the festival's page. Nothing.
It probably won't come out with a statement until it's like, they got their stuff sorted.
But I mean, I also saw comments that people were saying, well, I attended it in like 2022 and it was great. So maybe it was just this year.
Yeah.
Well, they said according to this Reddit thread.
You found a Reddit thread?
Yeah, well, just like a small one actually. They just said that ever since they moved to the Hamptons, which is this one. Now it's not loading, but they said it's basically been amazing before, but just the one at the Hamptons was a shit show. But how many people are on this thread? I'm trying to figure out.
That kind of makes sense though. Like a venue can really affect how well something can go. And
34 people.
I don't know if it's like my brain still thinks about Izu. You know, years past Izu was great.
Yeah.
But it was this recent year when they
changed the venue and everything.
Exactly. Yeah. And they essentially weren't prepared for that level of like people.
Yeah.
And I think it's the organizers as a whole, not just the like venue location. It's just, you know, they went hand in hand. The organizer and the venue space was together. But yeah, I mean, it took like 9 months for them to say they're going to issue refunds, which is cool. But
better luck next year.
Better luck next year.
Dude, can we talk about that for a quick second? Because there's a feeling I get about that really sucks. So we talked about it for a second. Electric Forest, they lost 2 days this year because it's raining. Or Palm Tree because of everything that went wrong. Or Electric Zoo, they lost a whole ass day because of I'm trying to like process like, how are you supposed to feel about that? Let's just pretend you get your money back, all that stuff. You waited a year to go to this festival and to miss out.
Yeah, but at the same time, like I wouldn't be that bad because you can't really control weather.
Yeah.
I would rather be safe than sorry. You know?
Yeah.
So
and also
it's
like you're in control of like your emotions, right? So like if you
Yeah.
just look at the situation and not let it really affect you, you know, like yeah, it does suck and
I
you are
guess,
spending your money,
but there's a lot more layers to it than
Yeah.
that. Like for some people, they only go to one festival, period.
That's
For some
true.
people, it's like, this is my
kinda
bachelor
sucks.
party or my fucking wedding night at EDC.
It does suck,
Or
yeah.
like, hey, half my friends are like, we all graduated this year. We're all going our separate ways. Like,
And
I
that's
feel-
just
but-
that's the thing though, is that like it just sucks.
yeah, you,
Like,
you can't
Yeah.
control
Yeah.
it. You know,
There's
it's
not
like it's
really
out
much
of
you can do.
control.
I think that's probably like the mindset I'm trying to get at too. It's just like sometimes things just suck, and
Yeah.
you just
Yeah.
gotta
As long as you make
be
the
okay
most
with
out
it.
of it and you're surrounded by people you love.
Yeah.
And so
Like for
And-
example, like when you made the video, you know, when it was rating, like you could have said this shit's shit. Like I flew out here and I'm paying this amount of money and like this sucks. Like, you know, but you decided to make a video. Naturally, you had the instinct just to like, you know,
Just make
yeah. But I didn't
funny.
lose the day.
yeah.
I didn't lose the whole day, 2 days of the festival.
I also think it's good to just remember too that like these things will happen again later.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if it is a festival that is an annual festival,
Yeah.
you'll have another opportunity
Yeah.
to go at
Well,
some point.
It is
Not
what
everybody.
It is.
Not, I mean, yeah,
That's
not
what I'm trying to get
not
at,
everybody,
like-
but eventually, like you know, I don't know, I'm a half a glass half full kind of person.
I mean,
so
these things are expensive.
they are, but like, I mean, you got a whole another year to like
Yeah.
save
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
I'm like-
yeah. I don't know. I guess I'm just stepping into the shoes of some people that I know who,
Which,
you know,
yeah, I totally understand.
it's just,
yeah.
it's so
sucks.
unfortunate. And I
Yeah.
wish there was like an easier way to like,
Yeah.
Yeah, which
You
is
know.
it's understandable again, yeah, to feel that way, but then like again, just practicing, you know, like just focusing on like what you can be grateful about, you know, then
Yeah.
you know you start to just fully like embody just like positive things and abundance rather than just like, yeah, it does suck if you focus on it, you know, but you had 2 days out of the 4 days, you know, you at least experienced 2 days of a festival, you know, and those 2 days, okay, what did I do those 2 days? Oh shit, I saw this artist that I really wanted to see, and then you really focus on those days that you actually had at the festival rather than focusing on the days that you didn't. And I think like, you know, practicing like just that mindfulness really can help like just shift your perspective.
Wow.
When did we become a therapy podcast?
When I started doing self-therapy daily.
Okay.
So to answer the question of the day that we spent the last 30 minutes talking about, we actually did put this on our Instagram, and we asked you guys, and we wanted to hear some answers. We're going to be answering 2 questions today, and bringing the stories from you guys. So keep an eye out for those if you want to be in our next episode. And the 2 questions we put out there this time were, can you read them, Mickie? First the questions, and then we'll go into the stories.
First one was, we want to hear your craziest, most embarrassing festival stories to feature on our upcoming podcast episode. Obviously, people, you know, this will be anonymous, and yeah.
Yep.
And then the other one was,
Same as our first question of the day, yeah?
we want to hear about the most intense weather conditions you've ever raved in. But yeah.
Cool. Did you look up the answers for those by any chance?
Yes, I did. And I found a really crazy one.
Oh,
Or
what
the
is that?
embarrassing one.
Cool.
Or not embarrassing, craziest, sorry. It's
see.
not, it's
Do we
pretty-
want to go straight into the crazy, embarrassing story?
I think we should do the weather one first.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
only
yeah.
because we talked about it at the beginning. So like, even if it's quick, because I know I looked through them and a lot of them were saying pretty much the same thing of like Ultra Miami,
Yes, that was one of them.
mud, rain.
Yes.
I know. Burning Man last year was really bad. That like trucks and cars and everybody, they got stuck. They couldn't even leave.
Fuck.
Yeah, like it was bad.
Oh my
bad.
god, like worse than Nocturnal when you
Oh,
leave
yeah.
Nocturnal.
Oh yeah, like
yeah.
100 times worse.
But yeah, mostly it was just like rain, mud, yuckiness.
Oh, you have to like be about that life.
Slay.
Which people are. Some people like raving in the mud.
Dude, they're just like, people just chilling. They're like, I
Yeah.
don't give a shit. They're like rolling in mud.
They're one with the nature and
One with
universe.
nature.
and
Some people take off their shoes. One with nature.
that's next level grounded.
I know
Yeah.
some people like that.
I know some
Yeah.
people like that
Yeah.
too.
Props to you.
yeah.
I personally can't, but props to you.
I will say, actually, though, I think this is like a good moment to speak on this because we are still in the midst of summer right now. And I think a lot of people still don't have the super effective ways of like staying cool at festivals and stuff. Do you guys have any tips on that?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, it's important to be like consciously aware of how your body is feeling and knowing like symptoms and signs of like heat exhaustion, you know, it's like nausea, dizziness, muscle cramps, or
Yeah.
I'm sweating. A lot of people think, oh, I'm sweating, I'm just hot. Yeah, but like that's your body's way of like cooling down, right? So it's like excess sweating, you know, like you don't want to have a heat stroke. Like, you know, you want to do anything that you can to avoid that. And it's like, just knowing these signs so you can take action. Like, I've seen people use a pashmina and they wet a pashmina. It's really effective because when you put like a cold towel on like your forehead, neck, or like underarms, these are places that like your blood vessels are close to your skin, right?
It does, but doesn't it get stinky?
But then you just like wet it once the water like you wet it again, like so the water is always fresh, and then you put it on these places where your blood vessels are close, so then it cools it down and your entire body just like slowly cools down.
You know what I've been seeing a lot more frequently are those neck fans.
The
neck fans that like float.
Those are actually very beneficial. I used one at EDC and I usually sweat like a motherfucker.
It was
because
great.
I just
need to get one of those.
Obviously the obvious one is drink lots of water. You need to always stay hydrated. Hand fans.
The electric ones are better though.
If there's shade, go sit down and go under the shade. What else is there?
I think in certain, actually I can't speak for everyone on this, but I do know that a lot of people, or maybe this is just a me thing, but when I was in high school and it got really hot during the summer, I had a bunch of friends who would actually, oddly enough, wear hoodies to like protect them from the sun.
Yes.
I think pashminas.
It's weird.
But a hoodie, but it also, you want to take off layers of clothes. Rather, I guess like maybe an umbrella is perfect because like it provides shade.
I think
that's a good way of
Because would you say college or high school?
It's high school,
So you were in LA?
No, I was in Orange County.
SoCal.
Yeah.
So the weather is nice enough where you could wear a hoodie. Because I feel like, at least here in California, from what I've experienced, it doesn't get so hot, the sun gets burning.
Yeah.
So that's where the hoodie comes in.
Maybe it's just like covering your face so that it's like in shade. Because I'm thinking now that like maybe you could wear just the top part of the hoodie. So like, you take off so that the rest of it's just hanging from you, but you have the hood to like cover your
Also
face
helps.
from the sun.
Also helps if you're wearing like a white hoodie too, because then you're reflecting sunlight.
I have a random question. Do you like dry heat better or humid heat?
Like Vegas heat is what
Dry
I like.
Dry heat.
I don't want to sweat
And be
like
sticky.
I would rather like walk out and
I
it's
think
like
it's because like we're from California. We're kind of used to the dry heat. So
Dry heat.
yeah.
Dry heat.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but if you've ever been to like a place where there is that humid heat.
I'm going to one next week, and I'm like,
oh yeah, that's right. You're going to where again?
Bahamas.
The Bahamas.
Did your hair get frizzy?
Yes.
Mine does. That's why I hate.
Because my hair's naturally wavy, so like
yours gets curly as
Shut
fuck.
the fuck up! I know. It's like a fucking afro.
Your shit becomes a totally different. You're a totally different person.
But yeah.
All right. Well, shall we move on to the stories?
Are those all the tips that we have for people to stay cool?
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically.
Yeah.
I feel like there's probably more, but
obviously wear sunscreen. By the way.
Oh my god,
yes.
Sunglasses.
Yeah.
Yes. Protect your skin.
Protect your skin.
Protect your
Seriously.
skin.
Especially if you have a tattoo. You have a new tattoo. Always want to wear sunscreen, even if it's been
Very
like
true.
2 months or 3 months since you've gotten it. You still want to protect it from the sun. That shit could peel off, and then all your money gone.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So this is a crazy festival story that happened to someone literally at Electric Forest. So it's very, very recent.
Oh, this past
Electric Forest. Buckle up because it's a fucking wild ride. I had a fun time reading this one. Okay. So this guy met a girl on night 0 and helped her set up camp next to his. And then he invited her into her rave fam. And then they all took, the trippy stuff and realized, he made him see such a beautiful soul that was inside of her. And she was resonating beauty in a very, trippy way. He felt like he could see her aura and as they got to know each other. And then eventually this girl was like giving him, like the sexy eyes. And he thought that she was down to be together for the rest of the fest because of how they were on day 1. He didn't see her during the morning of day 1 because she went to meet up with other friends that she saw at Bonnaroo the other time.
Wait, the morning of day 1 or day 2?
Sorry. Okay, so he met her at day 0.
Okay. Oh, right.
Okay, yeah. And then he couldn't find her morning of day 1. So he got ready, went to the fest for the first time. And it was the first time he was ever there. So he was like experiencing the magic of the festival. One of the first sets, he ends up meeting this other girl and they hit it off really well. So they became flirty. He got her number and he was definitely trying to see her again. But his priorities was the first girl that he met at camp. Okay. Okay. So he started texting the first girl from camp and trying to meet up with her. But he couldn't, so he left the Sherwood stage and headed into the festival for a fun place to do to do appropriate activities in some hammocks.
Mm-hmm.
Wink, wink.
Mm-hmm. Inappropriate
activities.
Wink, wink.
With who?
With the second girl?
For the first girl.
Are you filtering the words? I feel
he literally said wink, wink.
Oh, because the way you're saying it, it's like, are you filtering it for us? You could just tell him they fuck.
Yeah.
No, so he texted the first girl from camp so that they can do some things in the hammocks.
So they met up in the hammocks.
Mm-hmm.
So he was talking to a bunch of girls from his group. They ate some more trippies, and they were basically his fairy godmothers trying to manifest the vibes between them in the best ways.
Jesus.
So they started texting. So the girls in his group started texting the first girl from camp.
Okay.
Telling her, he's super into you. Like, you guys should hang out and everything. So the girl from camp finally shows up, and they didn't leave each other's side throughout the whole night. After they met up, he ended up giving her a gift. He's like a huge deadhead. So,
Deadhead?
Wait, deadhead?
I don't know what a deadhead is.
Oh.
Isn't that they're doing the shows at
Is it Zed's Dead?
No. Deadhead is it's fuck. You know the big sphere that's in Vegas?
Oh.
Grateful Dead?
Grateful Dead. Yeah. So the common logo you see associated with Grateful Dead. So he got her a gift. And then, so they went to the Dreamer application room where they both wrote down stuff that they wanted our dream to consist of. Huge red flag for what she wrote.
Oh.
I should have realized right there she wasn't as invested emotionally as she thought. They left the Emporium, and she was talking about how she wanted to get to know me outside of the fest for the first time. One of the best moments of my life. He lost his dad when he was 17, and in that moment he felt like he was touching my back and whispering in my ear, telling me, "Don't let your greatest dream become your worst nightmare." And it gave me the most insane chills. My dad visited me in the forest. It was trippy and cool. And then as they went to the Emporium, I could tell she wanted to kiss me really bad, but I was like, wait, babe, I got the perfect John Summit song to make it that much more special. I could tell her heart was melting. It was so fucking romantic. We go to everything always. We eat more trippies, and it was epic. During the set, right at the beginning, I picked her up and kissed her like she's never been kissed before. A few moments after,
I love these little details that he's like including in here.
He was trippy. That's why.
It was trippy. A few moments after, she looks right in my eyes and says, "Let's be those people and get married."
Oh my God.
I was like, holy fuck, yes. I was so happy.
They met 3 days ago.
John Summit and Dom Dollar turned into our wedding night.
Oh my God.
Everyone around us was losing their shit because they were tripping their asses too. Everyone was so hyped, crying and congratulating us, and it was so epic. But this is when things started to get bad.
Man, if you know, you know.
I'm such a passionate person. It makes me a great writer. But for certain things like, tripping, I could tell she was starting to second guess herself. She clearly let her intrusive thoughts win, and she didn't want to upset me because I was tripping. Because who knows how I could have reacted when she told me in the moment that she didn't want to actually marry me. But I wish she did. But I think she didn't want to be that person to kill the vibe. So the next day, she basically ignored me. Every time I tried to talk to her, she was so strung out and annoyed listening to me because my voice was so scratchy. That dust at Electric Forest was no joke. We barely spoke all day. That was definitely the worst day of the whole fest. And then, so because of that, he wanted to trippy again into like a major hole. And she never visited me at the medical tent once. But he ended up meeting some amazing people at the med tent that helped him in so many ways. They wanted him to see Wooly with them, but he was like, I love my girlfriend too much to leave, when this girl didn't even give a fuck about me like that at all. He called her his girlfriend.
Oh,
they got married, remember? Don't forget, they got married.
Yeah.
But they got married like by an actual person?
No, it was just like they just got married, you know? So after they started heading back into the forest after the pretty lights, and his rave bae took off and started doing her own thing. So he went back into the dream emporium, and he was wondering at himself, what went wrong? Am I that insecure about intimacy? Am I way too clingy and annoying? And all of those questions kept circling around in his head. So then a group of girls came up to him, drunk as fuck, and started flirting with them and invited him back to their tent.
That's epic. That's epic. I was the universe, like, bro, like,
yeah.
chill the fuck out.
And then he's like, I shit you not, this girl was about to... Sorry, this is gonna be graphic. I shit you not, this girl's about to give me a mid-blow job.
Continue.
Do you need help reading this?
Yeah.
It's just so funny. I shit you not, this girl was about to blow me in her car, and she passed out mid-blow job on his leg because she was so fucked up. He was a gentleman and put her back into bed, gave her a kiss on the cheek, and made his way back into the campsite. And then he's
scary.
Yeah,
that is kind of scary.
And so,
it's kind of concerning.
Yeah, and so he went back into his campsite and saw his first rave bae there, still awake. And so he went up to her and was like, yo, I need answers.
Whoa.
And so he kind of put her on the spot, which makes him feel bad, but he was really nice and respectful the whole time. And she wasn't giving him any straight answers at all about how she felt about him, and stormed off when he kept asking her what's wrong. And he was like, fuck it, okay, this makes it easier, I guess. So the next day, he explored the fest by himself. He got a picture with the girl he met the first day, so the second girl he met. And he was literally asking people if he knew or saw her because his phone wasn't working at all. So it was definitely a unique side quest. It was also wet and rainy that day. The forest kept telling me that he made sure to, experience the day as much as he could. So it came 2 hours early. He didn't have enough time to find his real rave bae, so he was exhausted and ended up sleeping the rest of the night. And then he ended up meeting some of the best people, creating relationships that can last a lifetime. Then he met another girl. This guy.
Yeah, it seems like
guy.
I hope we took this as a learning lesson.
Yeah, I'll save my comments for the
Yeah,
end. But
keep going.
So then he met another girl that was friends with this one girl that he met who was literally 19, and she gave me the eyes, and I wanted to try to kiss her so bad. She looked so beautiful out of all, even though he was like tripping so much. And then he watched Gigantic Nightmare with her and these other girls he met, and they were vibing so hard, and it was such an awesome set. Then they made their way to the rail for Excision, and then they canceled the rest of the fest. And then that's basically the story of his crazy rave-based story.
That's the story of his crazy rave-based story.
Yes.
Wow.
So, like, did he get married?
No.
He never found her again?
I wonder how he feels about the story, though. Like,
there's a lot to unpack.
There's a
in
lot
this.
to unpack. That's why, I just wonder if he sees it as a learning curve, or if that's how he just views going to festivals and just.
No,
yeah,
I feel like he just went there, to experience people, to meet people. If he, met someone, he experienced it to the fullest. He even
I respect.
Yeah,
man lived
he even,
life to the
he even
fullest
felt
with
like his
every moment.
Yeah, he felt like his dad was there with him, which is was awesome. He made sure to just take advantage of the forest and everything it taught him.
Yeah.
And it just so happened that he just had crazy stories with all of these people.
Yeah, but I think they were just girl after girl, and the desire for a validation from these girls, but then he had
But then he had his moment.
But in between, he had these moments where it's
what's wrong with me? Am I?
Well, no. So I was gonna say the moments of people at the med tent, the people at the med tent were like, hey, come with us and enjoy a set.
Yeah.
But then he was so focused on just no, I need answers from this girl.
Yeah.
So he had so many moments, I think, to continue the positive things, or and then in the story he said that he had more positive experiences after he met up with one of the girls, but it's in between he had these beautiful experiences, but then on the flip side I feel that I think I saw the episode of the last episode of you guys talking about like going to a festival and going to like
and stuff.
E-Love and like going to like not seek another person, and I think like that's really important to like remember, so like you don't get into like these like rave bay experiences.
I think it just happened to him. He even had like a moment to himself where like he was like, what am I doing wrong? Am I really hard to be intimate with? Why am I not intimate?
But
am I
still
being
thinking about
clingy?
intimacy, you know? It's like
I feel like a factor we also have to recognize is he was on Trippy Trip.
Trippy Trippy will do that.
Trippy Trip stuff. So
Lots of
like
trippy
there was a
trippy
lot
stuff.
of like things going on and feelings and emotions. I'm sure that a lot of introspection occurred.
Yeah,
but
like,
it can be overwhelming too.
Yeah, and like, you know, you can get stuck in a loop when you're on Trippy Trip stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, honestly, throughout that whole story, I think he enjoyed himself. Like, regardless,
he had the best time.
That's
Hopefully.
I feel like that's
he did. He was even. He said like I had the best time. It's just like I had so many side quests with so many people, and this is what happened.
Honestly, the way I'm perceiving that story, it doesn't actually sound negative. I think he just wanted to
experience for what it was.
Yeah, exactly. And he was just voicing how it went down.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like he, you know, fell in love with somebody in this moment and wanted to see where that went. And unfortunately, it took a turn that
it didn't work out.
It didn't work out. So he moved on to the next.
He moved on to the next. And then he...
So it's like he lived a whole bunch of different stories and side quests. And
I think that's pretty sick.
Yeah,
I was gonna agree.
I was gonna say that sounds like a story that you normally would have heard over like a year to 2 year
but
time
it happened
span.
to him in a span of
2 days.
2 days. 2 days.
So like
it's definitely one of those stories where he's probably thinking to himself like, did that really happen?
It's like it's like that Rick and Morty episode where like Morty played this game. I forgot the game's name. What was the game's name?
Oh, Rory.
And then he lived like a whole span of whole life.
A whole lifetime in the virtual reality game.
Yeah, in a virtual reality. He just woke up.
Trippy will do that to you.
Yeah.
I will say, I think this is like very introspective though, of just like telling you a lot about yourself. And so, I mean, I've been reading up a lot on like attachment theory and stuff like that recently. So it's really funny hearing this story from kind of like that lens. And yeah, I mean, I would say like this is kind of why we talked about in the E-Lab episode, like you don't go to the festivals with the intention of doing that. And when it happens, I think it's good to be appreciative and to, cherish it in the moment. But after the fact, I think it's also healthy to practice letting it go.
Yeah.
You know, and not being so attached to it.
In the end, that's what he did. And he had the best time at Gigantic Nightmare, and then he was at the rails for Excision.
Well, yes, but like also he said that there was that entire day where he had like the worst day, and he didn't talk to her and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean is that like
I think
it's important to like practice not being so attached to those
I agree.
especially because they happened there. Right? If you have a relationship with someone outside of the festival and then you meet there, that's different because now you have these other things with
I
these
think it
people.
hurt him because she said that like I would love to get to know you outside of the festival. So I feel like she kind of put that in his head and he was like so excited.
Yeah.
And then when he finally confronted her, she was like, no.
Yeah, but that's you still being attached, right?
Yeah.
So if you're present and you let go of the past and the future and you only focus on things that you can control, which is your reaction, you reflect rather than react, then, you wouldn't be thinking that you wouldn't have a whole day. But at the end of the day, at least, now he looks back at it and sees it like as a fun, cool experience.
Yeah, he's something to talk about for the rest of his life because
Yeah.
that's crazy. So props to you, man. I'm happy you made the best time out of your electric forest.
And you are so loved. Focus on you and love yourself.
Yeah, you're so loved, my guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't need anyone, just use yourself.
Use that experience too, I think, as like information for yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
and, like
just to reflect.
What you were feeling and why you were feeling it. I think it's good to have that introspection.
But yeah. It's crazy.
Were you gonna say something, Nand?
I feel like we're talking a little bit too extreme. We're not self-help people. Like that whole thing sounded super judgy. Who are we to tell other people that, especially when people go to festivals? People go to live in the extremes to an extent. Some people like going to a festival and allowing themselves to truly feel present and connect and maybe even attached to a person and really feel that feeling. We don't know how they act outside a festival. We don't actually know.
That's true. Yeah, I guess I'm just speaking more so on the fact of like that second day that he was talking about, how he said it was the worst day.
But that's the thing is for like some people, for some people, that's what they go in for. You know, they go in for I wanted to really allow myself to feel whatever it is that I'm going to feel. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so if like things happen, I'm just going to let
and
it
if I'm feeling this negative energy, I'm letting myself feel this negative energy. Because for some people, and let's be honest, outside a festival, they're closed off, they're guarded, they don't feel happy, they don't feel pain, they don't feel anything.
So when they finally get into an environment where they could let out all their emotions, they feel it all out at once.
Yeah. And it might be the extremes of sadness, extremes of happiness, but like to an extent, I feel like that's the beauty of going to a music festival is you allow yourself that freedom in whatever regard it might be.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, everything's perspective.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you do you, boo.
But glad you had fun again.
Yeah.
Glad you can look back on that experience.
Yeah,
and
I had such a great time reading your story. Like your story.
Clearly, Mickie couldn't wait to tell us. So.
Your story like literally caught my eye, and I had to like find it. I had to dig it through it. So when I randomly touched your name. Yeah, I was like, whoa. And then I read through the whole thing and I was like,
when I randomly touch your name.
When I clicked on your name. Yeah.
Oh,
but yeah.
So I'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors, being BOOMBOOM, the nasal inhaler that is perfect for festival going. Mickie has one over there. It's great. Lavender smell is still my favorite.
Ooh,
yeah.
Sniff it.
It's a great tool to use if you kind of need a distraction.
I love how you called it a tool.
If you need like a distraction as well, like let's just say you had a little bit too much at a festival or something and you're feeling nauseous, it's a great tool to use to kind of just distract yourself from feeling that nausea.
It's also very refreshing.
Yeah, or not even if you didn't take anything, you're just being overwhelmed with like everything.
Yeah, and lavender actually has properties to reduce anxiety and stress. So like sniffing like something like with an essential oil scent can really be beneficial. Like when you're at a festival and you're feeling nauseous or feeling sick, And
they got a couple other flavors too. They got like mint, spearmint. Wait, it's mint and winter flavors.
Winter
Sorry,
mint.
aromas, whatever. It's all the same.
You eat it.
They got mint, winter mint, tropical, and lavender.
Yeah, there you go.
I like the lavender.
So,
anyway, big thank you to them because they do sponsor these episodes and they help keep us going. And please use code I'm Peaking when you go get some because you can get a little discount and it also helps us a little bit more. But speaking of sponsors, we actually have another one being the CLUTCHLOOP Boys. So if you guys remember back,
the CLUTCHLOOP Boys.
Yeah, dude, they're homies. That's why I always call them the CLUTCHLOOP Boys.
Did you hurt yourself? Yeah. But that means that's strong. That's how strong it is. Your phone ain't gonna fall off. It's gonna come right back to you.
So if you remember back to our Reaper episode, we were able to show Reaper these CLUTCHLOOPs, and he told us a story about how most of his entire group of friends, himself included, all got their phones jacked as they were walking through a crowd.
They spotted EDC.
Yeah, and they had to go to, I think, Canada the next day for another show.
So that being said, he really, really appreciated what CLUTCHLOOP is doing and actually reached out to them, or they reached out to him. I don't know how.
They got in collaboration and they made these sick Reaper loops, which are CLUTCHLOOPs themed.
Do you see this? Do you see
Reaper
this design?
This team will never lose phones again.
They are awesome. I love. Can I, Jay? Can you pass me one of the packages? I love the way that they've been doing their packages. They look like such collectible items.
They have been turning into more and more collectible
like a Pokemon
items.
card.
Oh my god! like
a Pokemon card. You gotta collect them
even
all,
on the
bro.
back, dude. I almost want to just get them and just leave them in the container and just have them like on display.
Some people do that.
Yo, it has a Spotify.
Yeah.
That's a thing. You didn't know that?
No, I know it's the thing, but I didn't know they put it on there.
The case?
It's actually so satisfying.
No, that's what I mean. Like it's been a thing for them for a while to put on there.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah, they've been doing that. They'll put a Spotify like QR code on the bottom.
What's on the Spotify?
And you can scan
a song?
Probably one of his songs.
It's probably one of Reaper's. It's probably one of Reaper's songs.
Oh, snap, son. Yeah, that's lit.
That's
what?
That's epic.
Which one is it?
Cold Case
by Reaper. Yeah.
Love it.
So and just to talk a little bit more about CLUTCHLOOP, if you guys don't already know, which I believe I feel like a good chunk of the community knows now, but these are phone tethers for your phone to wear at music festivals, or I guess anywhere that you're in a crowded area. Doesn't have to necessarily be a music festival, but what these do essentially is they add an extra layer of protection to your phone so that you can feel a little bit safer when you're walking through the crowd. Someone can't just swipe your phone. There's an extra layer you have to get to in order for that to happen.
It's actually, to an extent, dual purpose in that regard, too. It's not even just to protect you from potential pickpocketers or phone thieves. It's also to protect you from dropping your phone. Like a buddy of mine, he has one, and he was on a plane. He fell asleep on the plane, and it just fell out of his hand, and it just dropped. So it, like, first and foremost, didn't hit the ground, and secondly, he fell asleep. He fell asleep on the plane, and it was able to keep his phone tethered to him.
Yeah, I actually use it outside of the raves. I don't have it right now, but I promise I do. I just don't have a case on it. But usually I have it connected to a candy. So I put this on a candy, and whenever I'm at the gym or I'm going out, I don't really wear a purse or bring a bag. So I put the candy on my wrist, and then I have my phone connected to my phone case on the wrist. And then if I'm always clumsy, or I'm always holding a bunch of shit, and sometimes I've literally seen it fall and just hang there. Yeah. And it protects it from falling, and also just keeps me from losing my phone, because I also lose my phone a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot more. A lot of the bags and stuff too that are being made these days for festivals have loops on them now that you can securely attach these to. Particularly brands like Gen Z or even Lunchbox. They all have some sort of thing that you can clamp this onto. And just because it's become so much more of a thing now where festivals, you have to look out for your phone.
Not even a hydro bag. You put in a belt loop.
Yeah. You can do a belt loop, fanny, whatever. But so definitely go and check them out. We do have a code for this as well. Code I'm Peaking, save you some money. And again, definitely go and check out their collection, because they're always coming out with new collectibles, new versions. And once those versions are gone, they don't remake them.
Gone forever.
So they are, in a sense, like collectibles. So
catch them all.
Yeah, especially with the Reaper loops, definitely grab them before they're all gone, because once they're gone, they won't be.
So they're limited edition.
Yes.
Gotta catch them all.
Yeah,
thank you, CLUTCHLOOP, and definitely go and grab one for yourself.
Catch it.
Yep.
All right, well, I think moving on from that, we should address the elephant in the room.
There's an elephant in here?
Where?
Kind of sounds bad.
Where's the elephant?
Oh,
look who's here!
Oh, yes, I have not been here for about a year.
That's crazy.
That's insane. That is insane.
Right?
Where have you been, Loca?
I'm not loca. I was loca. I was very loca, but now I'm very contained. I'm very contained loca, and I'm continuously going to grow and contain this locaness.
So where have you been, Brin?
Where have you been?
I've been focusing a lot on my personal growth and just my overall well-being, and I left when I was traveling, or before I started to travel, and I kind of just took it as an opportunity to just completely take a step back. You find myself, but more so, just discover my inner self, and what my values are. And I think being on camera consistently, I was really insecure during that time. So being on camera, I used to look back, and I actually used to not want to look back because I hated watching myself.
It's true.
And I watched none of the episodes. And the episodes that I did watch, I actually I was so self-conscious about them because I saw myself fidgeting.
Yeah.
This was before I was diagnosed with ADHD. So I was just all over the place, and being on camera did not help at all with my well-being. So taking that step back really did help just me discover. And also I was in a toxic relationship at that time, and I didn't understand in that moment, there's how really toxic it was, because obviously I'm in love and I'm in the moment, but taking a step back and it's really viewing it from just above, I see there's so many learning experiences, and I'm so fucking grateful that I had that time, and so grateful that I had the ability to learn from that, or ability just to be in that, and so much fucked up shit happened, but that's just the world, and the world doesn't stop. And you and I were talking about it the other day, about and this is why I live in downtown LA too, because I love looking at the city move. And I purposely moved there because when I'm looking out and I just see cars moving, at 4 a.m. days where I'm just there trying to meditate. I practice mindful meditation. It just makes me feel just so calm and at ease, just seeing everyone just still go. And it makes me think, okay, why am I, tripping out so hard about this one thing? And it's just been a whole just couple of months of me actively practicing that, but I don't think I was able to actually fully embody it until I was alone, until like I got out of the toxic relationship because, I fully attached myself to this person. And it's such a normal thing. A lot of people do that, they attach themselves to people because, it's your comfort. And, once I really dived into like why I did that and how it was limiting me, it's actually so crazy. Like, I feel like I started getting into like these practices of like being mindful or like trying to regulate my emotions a couple years ago, but I never really noticed just how emotional I really was until I got out of this relationship and how much I used my emotion just to like dictate how I would act. And obviously, if it's in a relationship, it's in every single relationship in your life, not just with your partner. Yeah. So when I paused and really reflected, and a lot of this has actually just been within the past couple of months, and the shift has been just within this past month, and by actively practicing, like mindful meditation, yoga. I've been looking a lot into, is it called being stoic? But like stoicism. Yeah. And just like, these are like real textbook things that people back in the day, like, slaves, like Epictetus, he was a slave for 30 fucking years, and he was a philosopher who practiced stoicism, and just like seeing it, happen in past times in way worse conditions than like what I'm dealing with, it just puts a lot into like my perspective. And I think, like taking a step back and being able to just fully like immerse myself into these ideas and practices and incorporating them has just really been what I needed for my personal growth. And it allows me to like be back here and just be confident in how I speak and be confident and just like, just being here.
I can see you glowing now.
I'm also sweating.
I'm not like that. But it's just like the way you perceive yourself. I could feel that you're more confident in yourself. Yeah.
I really liked, what you said earlier, because, we definitely had, our talks off camera in the past couple of weeks, and kind of, what you said earlier about just like looking out into the city, and like, I guess it is shifting your perspective in that way of just remembering that like the flow of time is still going. Like it doesn't stop for anyone. And so, I think it's very important to like live in your feelings and to learn, but also to move forward. Is super important.
Like detach yourself, right? So I've been a lot of practicing, I forgot exactly what it's called, but it's a Buddhist practice of, being present and detaching yourself from the past and future, because things are going to change anyways, no matter what, things are ever changing. So why focus on when it changes, or why focus on like how it changed or whatever, and just be present and being, really fully like immerse yourself in that.
I think it's healthy to practice, or I guess I would say I think it's good to practice a healthy amount of detachment, know, and being able to recognize, because I think at the end of the day, you should still learn from your mistakes, but also at the same time, you don't want to dwell on those mistakes so much so that they, determine the kind of person you are. In a way, they already determine the kind of person you are, but they should determine who you are in the way of, I've learned and I know how to move forward now. And the next time something like this happens, I'm better equipped to handle this.
Like it's making a stronger new version of you. So anytime, like the way I view failure is just a learning experience. So like I acknowledge that, yes, I failed. Okay, but now, how am I going to now grow from this and just become a stronger person? 100%. So it's like all this shit again that happened, like I actually take that, and I'm so grateful that it did happen, because it's just helped me expand my mind more and more. And I fully feel like this new wave is like me just being emotionally resilient and like learning how to be emotionally resilient and continuously doing that. It just has helped my quality of life. Like God, like my motivation has just like increased. I have like so much drive and like desires and goals and intentions that I'm going to accomplish, and I have all these like belief systems to think, just pulling different practices from like real things, real textbook things that work, and like fully rewiring my brain, the neuroplasticity of my brain, and like just being a whole new fucking person.
So would you say that when you were in that relationship, that those practices kind of, or like that way of thinking, like it deterred from that?
So him and I would actually talk about it, but we never actively did it. So it's like the definition of insanity, right? Like you're doing something over and over again and expecting a different result, but you're stuck in a cycle, because we had these ideas of like what we wanted to do and how we wanted to do it, but I don't think we were able to do it together, because from what I've noticed when I'm alone, I actively practice all these beautiful things, but when I was with him, I did it.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so I would say like that's very valuable information for yourself. I think moving forward too is like knowing that in scenarios like that, because you said yourself like your emotions like run very high sometimes, and in this case they did, right? And so like in the future, I guess finding that compromise, like that level of compromise when you do come across another partner or whatever, when you decide that there's it's that time, having that compromise with yourself of still having those good habits and those things that you've built in your alone time, while still being able to share time with your your partner as well.
Which is why like it starts now. It starts just like me fully like creating this strong foundation. So I'm so confident, and I have literally my own personal life. I am so like separated from like attaching myself to this person. And when I do get into a new relationship, it's going to be such a beautiful thing, because I'm going to be able to fully be confident in myself while enjoying just like the beauty of a relationship. And I just truly think it just takes time. It takes time for me to like, I've been diving into like my traumas,
Sorry, I was on my phone, but I had to like search this up. So apparently there's this thing on TikTok where women, it could happen a little bit earlier, but typically at age 25 is when like their prefrontal cortex is fully developed.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what happened to you.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I thought that was for like, because I thought men are fully prefrontal cortex is developed at 25. Women, it's earlier. Women mature faster than men, from what I recall.
Yeah, but apparently they're saying it's fully developed near the age of 25. So it's like
maybe ours is a little later.
I was always told for women it's 21, for men it's 25.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I feel like that opened up for you. It's like fully developed now, so you're just reflecting.
Yeah, I also think it comes down to experience too. Like for example, the more that I experience, the more my mind opens up, because the more that I'm just like looking at the situation and just like trying to like figure out, okay, what the fuck went wrong. But yeah, like that's why when I say like neuroplasticity, that's literally me rewiring my brain. Yeah. So that's like part, of like my entire like
you could
mind.
basically rewire everything. Your brain isn't.
Yeah, I mean that's how you heal from trauma.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier in the episode, I've been like reading up a lot on attachment theory, and that's like a very important part of that. Is that these are things you can change, but you have to put in the mental work.
Yeah,
it's a lot of work, but it's doable.
It is a lot of work, but it's so powerful, because obviously if you want to do great things in life, you gotta like put in the fucking work to do it. And what limits you from doing great things is literally just like being in a cloud. And I hated that cloud, and I didn't even know I was in a cloud until like now. So now I know like, okay, how am I going to prevent myself from being in this motherfucking cloud again?
Fuck the clouds.
Fuck the clouds. Fuck the clouds.
Yeah, but I know a lot of people have been asking where she was, and obviously we didn't say anything. It's not because we didn't want to address it. It's because we wanted to make sure that we needed to hear it from Brin herself.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but I miss connecting with you guys so motherfucking much. That's why, like, even on my own platform, like, I wasn't as consistent, but still, like, I would still do my best to try to connect. And I even started, like, I got a mic and I started using the camera and like talking to the camera, because obviously, I did
see
miss
that. Yeah. I love that content too.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's great.
Thank you. I miss the connection, and also I miss being here too. So I'm just like so incredibly happy to be back, and I'm so grateful, that like we're able to just like have this dynamic and just be here. Thank you.
And she's back
again. I'm back.
And now you guys can stop asking. God damn it.
Thank you so much for being curious. You're so fucking sweet. So many virtual kisses.
If I had $1 for every time someone said it, we'd be banking. So.
But yeah, that's why we haven't addressed it. Obviously, we want to hear it from Brin.
Yeah, but welcome back.
Yeah.
And expect to see Brin in a lot more stuff moving forward.
Boom.
Hell yeah, brother.
This is going to be the next year. The next couple of years are the I'm peaking years.
You're stuck with me. I'm back. You didn't like me.
And peaking years. That's such a wild statement.
It's so funny. Well, we should also address another elephant in the room.
Oh, what is this?
Another elephant.
Oh,
yeah. That's not an elephant. That's not really an elephant anymore.
But we should speak more about it.
It's more like a
holy crap.
What's a baby elephant? What's the name of a baby elephant?
A baby elephant?
Small elephant.
They call him something. You know how like they call like deer? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, or like they call a baby goat
kangaroo.
a kid. Like
Joey.
There's got to be a name for a baby elephant, right?
Probably Ted.
Ted? Are you saying that?
Yeah.
Can you look it up?
Name for baby elephant.
A calf.
A calf. Oh, okay. Wait, calf? I thought a
That
calf.
doesn't make sense.
I thought a calf was like a.
For like cows and like.
Yeah. That calf's a cow.
They're
I guess there's a word for it
It's a
too.
calf.
I mean, they
It's
call
a
baby
calf.
goats kids. They're not human kids, but they're
Yeah.
called kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who makes this up?
I don't know.
Well, not makes it up, but who like
Darwin.
science? Darwin? No, Darwinism. That's so far off. That's
I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there.
that's philosophy.
Let's just say science.
Okay. Anyways, the calf
Biology.
in the room, I guess. Then
The
is
biologist.
that we do have these jerseys, by the way, that you can go and purchase for yourself if you would like to join the squad.
Join the
And
fam.
yeah, and just to kind of give you guys a little bit of a teaser too, we will be releasing more versions
This is just the
of
first.
these. This is just the first one. But we got a lot of stuff planned for some more merch coming your guys' way. We definitely want to keep expanding on that. I know I've been wanting stickers. We've been wanting like different versions of the jerseys, different colors. So be on the lookout because a lot of that's coming very soon.
Yep.
Oh, a pink jersey would be hot, actually.
Right?
A hot pink jersey.
That would be cool. I really want varsity jackets at some point. I know it's not going to happen for a long time, but
Yeah.
varsity
'Cause I
jackets
just-
would be so sick.
They'd be sick, but I'd never wear it at a festival.
Yeah,
It'd be
it'd be
too
so
fucking
Oh,
I
we
would
couldn't
never wear it at a
hot.
festival, but I would just wear it. Like I would just
Yeah.
wear it in public.
Okay.
Do you
Yeah,
wear
like a
varsity
fashion show.
jackets?
Huh?
You wear varsity jackets? I've never seen you wear
Sometimes,
one.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Young LA
I got
one.
a couple.
Very cool.
Yeah, I got a Young LA one. I got
It is hot in
I got
LA.
a Seven Lions one.
Mm.
Yeah. So,
I'm
yeah.
hungry.
Me too.
I am also hungry. All right, what are we at on time?
Can we go get
We're
food
basically
2 minutes?
done.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
and celebrate?
Awesome. All right, well, I guess that concludes this episode then. If you didn't already know, we have a Patreon where we release bonus content. A lot of listening to music. It's generally where we listen to most of our music since we can't listen to that on YouTube due to copyright, stuff like that. We'll also do like games and stuff over there as well. But yeah, if you haven't already, definitely go and check that out. Link will be in the description. And also want to quickly thank all of our patrons who do support us through Patreon as well.
And of course, I just want to throw in there that is the best way for you to support us is to go on our Patreon. But other ways would be using code I'm Peaking on pretty much anything that we're affiliated with. So
Or
like,
just watching us because we love you.
and then
Yeah.
our two big sponsors, as we mentioned before, being BOOMBOOM and CLUTCHLOOP. You can use code I'm Peaking on there too.
Yeah.
Got
We have another segment where we listen to music that we can't show you in the main episode. So
Listen to music.
go and check that out. It'll be available at the time that this is releasing. We usually drop it then. So go and check it out. And even if you don't support us on Patreon, we still love you guys. Nan, you want to close it out? You always do.
Thank you for being here. So once again, we enjoyed hanging out, talking. So smash that notification bell, leave us like, comment, do all the above to support and engage with our videos. And we love you so much for that. And we will see you at the next episode.
See you in the next one. Let us know who you want to see as a guest next, by the way, too. We start having guest episodes again.
Yep.
Bye, guys.
Doodles.